so I'm going to grab this little box right here, and I'm just going to kind of, talk about, all right, so let's say that this is my east elevation, and I'm going to make something that's 3 feet up off the ground, and I'm going to make it to where it is 18 feet tall, and I'm going to make it to where coming across this way, it comes over, I don't know, 20 feet. Okay? Does that fit the parameters? I think it does. I don't know. We'll check it. All right. And how deep does it have to be? They all got to be 5 feet, so you don't have a choice there. And so you end up with something like that. That part's got to get cut out, right? Okay, what I want you guys to do is take what you've learned in 121 and try to visualize what does the floor plan to this look like. Okay, so I'm going to draw it right now. So my box is 30 feet by 30 feet, and it has 9-inch thick walls. How many of you are working on a floor plan today? Anybody? Or anybody in Muddy Souls class? Hold on, I'll turn around in just a sec. So 30 feet. And 30 feet. Okay? I'm even going to put a north arrow on here, so I'm going to put a little circle like that and put an N. That's north. Okay? That's south, that's east. So which direction does my entry face? So it's sitting like that. Okay? So is this the northeast corner?
Yes.
It is. This is the southeast corner. So my cut is on the northeast corner of that. So when I come up here and I look, this is north, that's east, this is the northeast corner. Right? So now I'm holding this and I go, okay, so it's sitting like this. Right? So it's 5 feet going from east to west. So this is east, this is west, so it's 5 feet over this way. So I take and I measure over about 5 feet. And I draw the line. And then going down this way, it's about 20, so it's at about the third point. And so that's about where my porch is. That's about where that porch is, right there. Okay? So the next thing that I have to do is give it a wall thickness. So here's this, and that, and then I got a wall thickness here, and a wall thickness here. And now this line's no longer there, because there's a floor there. This one comes to the outside. And if you haven't already done this in your 121 class, you will be doing this. I know Madi covered it today. How many of you are in Madi's class? So you guys did do this today, right? Where you took the pen and you kind of decided where the outline was, then you used the felt tip marker on the inside to crochet it. Okay. Okay, so there's my porch, right? It's 5 feet from there to there. So I'll draw that dimension. 5 feet, and then I made it 20 feet this way. Why did I pick 20? Huh?
They gave us the dimensions.
Yeah, but why 20? 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 10 is 30. It's 1/3 point, see? So I didn't arbitrarily just pick a point. I tried to do it to where it was visually referencing what's going on there. Okay, so what I want you guys to understand is the impact that this has had on the space inside of it. So now let's say that I do another porch and I put the other porch at this corner. All right, so I'm going to go here. It's 5 feet deep. This is my sunset porch. Okay? So now the two porches that I've created have had an impact on the inside, right? If you were to walk in here, your mind's eye would essentially be creating this imaginary line going across here. and then we'd be creating another potential imaginary line here, or it could use this as the new volume, and it could just draw, it could not draw, but it'll just imagine a line there. Okay? Because, say I put the door here, and I walk in, when I turn the corner, from that corner back, it's going to feel like one room, and it's going to feel like this is kind of the entry, part of the inside of it. Okay? When you are working on this stuff, I want you to use that same idea of positioning the podium by thinking about a module or a subdivision. So one of the things that I would suggest to all of you is that you say, okay, so this is kind of viewed as a space, and so from there to there, the halfway point is here. So I'm going to put my podium so that it's halfway between that wall and that wall. And then you might say from here to here, the halfway point is here, so I'm going to put my podium there. Okay, so now I go the same thing, halfway this way, there, so the podium ends up right there. Is that arbitrary? Did I just close my eyes and pick a point in space? I didn't. I made a decision. Halfway, there's the podium. I could have said, instead of going all the way to there, that maybe the podium is halfway between here, in which case it would end up there instead. Okay? Do you see how that works? Likewise, you guys are going to have to put a piece of art on a wall somewhere. Right? And the piece of art has to be on the east wall, and straight across from it you have to have a window at the same height, because basically the sunset on the equinox is exactly horizontal, and it's straight east-west. So what's going to end up happening is when the sun sets, if you have a window here, and you have a wall painting that's mounted here, the last rays of the sun as it goes down are going to come through that window and light that painting. But now where do you put the painting? Where do you put the window? See, students would normally struggle with that and go, I don't know, I just put it somewhere in there, right? Well, the one way to look at it is to analyze this as a space and say, I'm going to center the painting on that space, and then I'm going to put the window so that it centers on the painting. Then the things are not arbitrary. Okay? You notice how everything is kind of deliberate. It's thought about. So these are the things that I'm going to ask you guys to do. Okay? I'm going to ask you guys to create your entry porch following the rules. Create your sunset porch, and that one has looser rules. Right? And then start to analyze the space inside. And there's no one way to analyze the space inside. I could say, this is a space, that's a space, and that's a space. I could even say the same thing, and that there's a space that overlaps that one. Right? It's not here. It's not some weird thing here. I'm using edges that exist to kind of define where the spaces are inside, right? I'm not just arbitrarily picking points and there's a space. I used that corner. I used the distance between these two things. I used that corner. I used the width of that space. Everything is kind of deliberate. Okay, how many minutes?
8 minutes.
Right, so let's go ahead and stop that there.